Namaskar, namaskar. Welcome back to another Thursday live. So I see a lot of people waiting. Sorry for the wait here. I think I'm like 1 minute late here. Hope you guys doing great. I'm doing fantastic too. Just those who are new to this live, I do this lives very often. Once in a while, I miss it for a Thursday, but mostly every Thursday. Um, I try to give updates on what's happening in Windsor, Ontario, specifically. How is the real estate doing here? What are the latest news? And also talk about in general any questions you have related to real estate. Real estate investing. It could be if you want to make a real estate as a career, or if you want to use the investing vehicle to achieve financial freedom, then you're at the right place. So don't hesitate to ask questions while I'm talking. I'll be, answering all the questions. We'll be, I'll be on live for next 45 minutes to 1 hour, answering your questions and also giving you updates. Um, just the updates on my side. I just got a pre-construction project in Windsor, a detached home that I got recently, which is closing like 1 year down the road. That has like a detached home for 750,000 in South Windsor. So that one, maybe I might move into it, or I might make it as a investment property. So it's going to be like upper 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and also another basement unit. Probably have to make a unit, but there is like a great entrance, 2 bedroom, bathroom. So that's one latest update. And also, probably who are following me on Instagram, you might know that I'm already missing Ahilia, my daughter, who is in India now. So mm, she Mamta and Nahilia and her mom, they left to India for like vacation. I don't know when they're gonna come back. They just didn't book their return ticket, so I'm just waiting to see when they're gonna book their return ticket. I'm just checking their photos and videos every day. I'm already missing her. The house looks blank without her. So probably, maybe who has kids can understand what I'm saying. um, but yeah, how are you guys doing? So let me know in the comments, where are you joining from? What's your name? Where are you with your investing goals? With your real estate. So before I jump into the market update, let me see quickly. Robert, hey Robert, how are you? Good evening, buddy. Good to see you here. Um, so South Cameron, yes, we have this listing up. I'm shocked that lasted for more than a day. No, actually, it's still on the market. Maybe you missed it. It's still on the market. We have it's not sold yet. Um, it's like a, those who don't know what's Robert is referring to. We have this property on the market. It's for a unique buyers. Maybe not everyone might be interested in, but someone who is looking for maybe a workspace. We have this house is like a 3 bedroom house, and also another house in the back, another 1 bedroom house. Like it's literally a separate house, and also like a 900 square feet garage in the back. It's like 12 plus feet ceiling height, all fully like recently built up garage, and a big backyard. It's like 50 by 200 lot, so pretty big lot. For someone wants to do a home, homework, like some people have a passion for cars or different things. Probably that's something, an interesting project to check out. But also, like, we have couple of properties in good investment properties coming up, and also a beautiful condo coming up. If anyone interested to want to live in a condo that has a water view, so like this condo cannot get any better. Like the bedroom, master bedroom, second bedroom, and the living room, all the rooms have view for the water. And there is a balcony in the master bedroom, there's balcony in the living area, so you can enjoy the water view. And also pretty reasonable price. It's going to be listed around like 350, in that range. It's still, we are working on it to list it, so it's coming soon listing. But if you want to know more details before going on to the market, maybe send me a DM condo, saying, just a DM condo, with your information, phone number, email address. My team will get in touch with you. So that's updates on my side. Vancouver Daily. Hi, hi. Shivam, hey Shivam, how are you? Arun from Markham. Hey Arun, how are you? So good to see you all. Let me jump into the Windsor market update here. So let me just share my screen just to give you guys an idea on what's happening here. So hope you can see my screen now. So this is the website everyone have access to. Windsor Real Estate Board. Probably even if you hop onto that website, you will be able to read all the data there. Um, so interesting numbers this month. um, Still the market is up comparative to last month and comparative to last year. So let me just go back here. So this is the overview, and then I'll dig into more into the details. So overview, comparative to last year, the prices are still down by 16%. So we came down by 16%. um, until January, if you would have seen the last update or before last update, until January of this year, the average home price was 516. From 516 to now 576. So 60,000 jump, which is like little more than 10% appreciation happened just in last 4 months. Yes, that's right. Just in last 4 months. But we all know last year until April, the April month was the peak month, like 720,000 was the highest average home price. So from there, we are still down to 16%. And the number of properties sold. So the number of sales happened in April month is 459 units. So which is still down. That means the number of sales are still down. And also new listings, like the inventory is also down. So the demand and supply kind of stayed around the same. So it didn't really change that much. But if we dig a little bit more deeper into it, then we will know a little bit more insight on that numbers. Um, so let me take a pause here just to give you guys clear understanding. So since the Bank of Canada uh, gave a sign that they are not going to increase the rates anymore, since then we have seen more buyers coming into the market. Since then, we started to see more bidding war. So that's continuing. Even last month, I went more into that. Like the bidding war is happening now. Like but not every properties are having the bidding war. This is where you gotta know which one you're looking at. But in general, affordable homes like in the 500, 600 range, especially the homeowners where residential properties where a homeowner can live in, more like a primary home, those are the ones having much more demand. Also the affordable investment properties also have a good amount of the interest coming in. Like we have sold 5 properties last week. All of them are into bidding war. So one property, this was probably, if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen some reels on that. 776 Janet. This is a perfect investment property, or even a first time homeowner property. It's like above ground, there is 4 bedrooms, 2 bathroom, plus there is an in-law suite, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, and it's nicely renovated. We listed the property for 379. And again, I'm giving you some more insight that so you can understand the psychology behind how the properties will be listed, how the properties will be sold, and how the bidding war is created. So you just stay with me here. So this property, when we presented to the seller how much they can get, we were looking at the market value again at that point in time before listing, right? So there is a time gap of listing and the sold date. So when before listing, when we are presenting to the seller, we said, okay, this one probably we are looking the approximate market value of this property is around 470 to 490 in that range. And she agreed to list it for under market value, which is like 100,000 under the market value. So we listed for 379, and we had an offer date with a 7 days period of gap. So we show the property in that 7 days, and we hold the offer on the seventh day. So on the offer day, we got like 13 offers. Yes. And we got the little more than the market value. So because I cannot disclose the exact number, but it's little more than the market value. That's what happened on that property. And we had like couple of listings the same way. Like some properties got like seven offers over a higher over seven offers at the bidding war, seven offers on the table. And some properties, actually my favorite one, semi-detached, this one went a little crazy. Like we followed the same strategy. This one got like 29 offers. The seller was super happy. Of course, we got the price that top dollar in the market, but I was shocked. And all these properties are under 600 range. So the bidding war in this area are much more, especially if the property is like vacant and move-in ready, nicely well kept. Those are the homes that are getting top dollars in the market. But there are also some properties like more like investment properties, where we have listed, we are still on the market because we listed for little more than the market value. That's what sellers chose to, and those are the ones sitting little longer. So if you're an investor, you better focus on the properties that are sitting a little longer on the market, so you can negotiate the price a little bit based on the market value. You might be able to negotiate a little bit, give or take, based on what the property has to offer, if it meets your requirements. So that's something, just you're aware. And what's happening in Windsor? So there was a latest CMHC update came out. Probably anyone, if anyone would have seen that article, the vacancy rate is under 2%. Yes, in Windsor, the vacancy rate is under 2%. And they were even saying that, probably renting might not be a better option in Windsor. So if you're someone who never owned a home and you're planning to live here for longer, maybe your best bet is to buy a house, because there's still a lot of affordable homes that you might be able to pay the same amount of money, but now you build your equity. You're paying your mortgage down. You might have some market appreciation. So that article was interesting for me. Like even literally the Windsor Star, they wrote an article saying, is the buying a viable option or renting a viable option? And because of the amount of demand, amount of people moving in, the vacancy rate, when the vacancy rate is very low, obviously the rents will go up because the demand for the rentals will go up. And another thing that I noticed in Windsor area is the student rental demand is picking up quite a lot. Like whichever the property manager I talked to, they're like, oh, we have a lot of students, they want to rent a place, but there is no places for rent. So yeah, that's another interesting one, because there's a lot of new people coming to Canada, a lot of new students coming to Windsor. So that's something, keep an eye for. um, Manikishore, what's the age of the property? 776, it's actually Janet, Jannet. So that age, probably, I think 60, not 60, maybe 70, 75 or plus. Because most of the houses in Windsor, in downtown area and Forest Glade and West Windsor. So this is the area like that is old part of the city. Unless someone rebuilt it in recent times, most of the houses in this area are like mostly 70, 80, even 90, 100 years old. But again, this is where one of the common question I got is like, oh, would you suggest buying these older homes? It depends on what's your financial situation, but at the same time, here's my comments. I made a good amount of money actually from the older homes. If I would not have bought the first home, like my first home was 120 years old, and I'm really glad I started with that, because it was a perfect starter home. I didn't had more than like 10,000 at that time, and I didn't had that many options. My options was this older homes in a lower neighborhoods, like B minus C, B minus C neighborhoods. So those were the only options. I'm like, either I continue to rent or I buy something, do some improvements, and either I sell it later, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years down the road. Because as a first time home buyer or as a homeowner, if you live in that house and you do some renovations and you keep up the property, if the market continue to appreciate and you force appreciate, the property value will go up, you can sell, and no taxes because I lived in that house. So that's what I chose to at that time, because I didn't had that much money, and that was my starter entry point. I couldn't get any older than that. But some lot of older homes, they're actually very solid. If you do proper inspections, make sure the foundation is good, make sure the mechanicals are in a good standing. If they're not, make sure you get them done. And when you're maybe have a short term goal of getting in, do some improvements and sell it later, make the profit and get into newer ones. But in this country, come back home. I'm from India, if you don't know. Back home, old houses has a stigma. Like, no, not many people buy used houses, like resale houses. Not many people do that. But here, resale is actually a common thing. And 50, 60, 70 years is nothing, especially if they keep up the house. Like, if they updated all the mechanicals, if they change the roof, if the structure is in a good standing, if all the framing has been redone at some point, then it's okay. Because if everything has been done, it's still fairly newer property. If it's not done, then that's an opportunity for you. And also another common question I got, like, oh, will there be more appreciation for newer homes comparative to older homes? I would argue on that part, like, I have seen more appreciation in the older homes comparative to newer homes, because my returns on the older homes are much more than the newer homes. Because newer homes, I cannot appreciate, I cannot force appreciate, I cannot make any changes because I got the newer home. So yeah, age is something, just a number. Yeah, you do your due diligence in there. Venkata Subramanian. Hi Aditya, what is the typical average closing duration for a property from the day the offer has been accepted, considering the high ratio mortgage? So usually, again, it depends on what the seller is looking for, but I see your typical average closing, right? Like, so typically 60 days. Um, mm, and when the markets are, especially fastly moving, when the properties are moving very quickly, you might see typical 30 days. But in a average market, when the things are not going as crazy, also not too slow, probably 60 days is a very common closing. But it depends on also property to property, because some sellers living there, they need 90 days because they bought another property or they have to find another place to move. Different scenarios can change. And also, if you're someone, you need 90 days, you just need to ask. This is another thing that I would recommend. Like, if you don't have enough funds to close it, or if you are planning to do some renovations but you don't have enough funds right away, maybe ask for a longer closing. Maybe sometimes the sellers would say yes, especially if they're living there. For them, if they haven't bought a property, they might give you that extension. Money Kishore. So if you want to buy a family residential home, 10 to 20 years old, semi full, what can be the average or max price that we get in the current market? So, Manikishore, the prices really depends on so many elements. I'll give you a rough idea, but let me tell you this. General prices are hard. Don't make decisions based on that, because you better look at specific locations. There's so many variables within the houses. So, for example, to start with, one, the size of the house; two, location of the house; three, features of the house. What do you have within that house? So within the semi-detached, you can find two bedroom semi-detached, you can find two bedroom with no garage, two bedroom with garage, two bedroom with one car garage, two bedroom with two car garage, 3 bedroom with one car garage, 3 bedroom with double car garage. I can go on and on and on and on. Or in a good location, A neighborhood or A plus neighborhood or A minus neighborhood or B neighborhood. So but if you're looking for just an average number, um, 10 to 20 years old detached homes in Windsor, let's say in nice neighborhoods like South Windsor, LaSalle, Bellevue, Forest Glade, probably you're looking very conservatively, like very minimum number, 600,000. So anywhere starting from 600,000, they can go up to like million, 1.5. But 600, is the average price for a 3 bedroom 2 bathroom detached home with a single car or double car garage. If they're little smaller, you might get little less. And if it's a 20 years old home but fully updated, or if it's not updated, it depends on those elements too, right? Like the prices can change in that too, and also which pocket they're located in. But typical, you're looking anywhere from 600 to 800 for a typical average, uh, 3 bedroom 2 bath, for a detached home. For a semi-detached, whatever the detached home prices are, like generally minus like 100,000, give or take from that. So you're right now you're looking anywhere from like 450 to 550, 600 range for a semi-detached. Again, also you might have options like condos too. Even in that, like age, size, a lot of things varies. Vancouver daily. Do you also deal with multifamily properties any higher than 4 units? So, for those who don't know, I'm actually a full-time investor and realtor, and I do have a team here. So we are actually heavy investor-focused realtors. The reason I say that, because I myself own multiple properties. Some of them are multifamilies. 17-unit building, 27-unit building, 6-unit building. Now I'm building a 12-unit building. So yes, we do deal with a multifamily. In general, investment for properties is our niche. So if you guys, anyone looking to get help in that area, just to, get some brainstorm, some ideas. If you want to know whether investing is a thing for you or not, or investing in Windsor Essex is something that you might be curious. You don't know whether you want to invest or not, but you just want to know how things work more one-on-one based on your personal situation. Then just DM me on Instagram. If you search my name, Aditya Kumar Soma, um, DM me saying, investing in Windsor. Just invest in Windsor. My assistant will schedule a call. If you send your full name, email address, and phone number, she'll schedule a call. We can jump on a call one on one in 15-20 minutes, discuss, if it makes sense to you. Okay. And Arun, hey Arun, how to decide which neighborhood is A plus, B, C? So probably this is where you need either, if you're completely new to the city, you need someone who knows the city. So the reason I say A minus or a B plus, it depends on, one, you can go drive around those areas. That's the easiest way to learn which neighborhoods, how they feel. Because when you drive into a C neighborhood, you will know, like it's like, garbage everywhere. The houses are like not well kept, landscapings are not good. Where, a little bit more crime comparatively, the B neighborhoods. And B neighborhoods, you will feel the difference like when you go in there. And also when you talk to a realtor, who has a good knowledge about that area, whichever the city you're looking in, look for an expert who knows that area very well, and ask those questions. And for me, I actually have a guide. We have a Windsor guide. Go on to our website. I have a lot of tools there. If someone is curious to learn about Windsor, I have a go into the resource page. I have a Windsor guide where probably, I haven't updated the prices in last 4 or 5 months, but you will get a good idea which neighborhoods I'm considering as A neighborhood. A is like, A plus is like $1 million, like only mansions. A neighborhoods are where the very good school districts where, mostly upper middle class families live, like, everyone are actually making good income. The houses looks very beautiful, um, good, um, close proximity to everything. um, that's like, A neighborhoods, or B minus, B plus, or like, something that maybe there will be more renters, or half renters, half homeowners. Mostly when I say C neighborhoods, majority of them are maybe, renters. The percentage of the renters go up when you go down to the neighborhood quality. So the lower the neighborhood, the higher the renters. Higher the neighborhood quality, lower the renters, because mostly all these A neighborhoods, A plus neighborhoods, you rarely see renters. You mostly see the family homeowners who living there, who keep up the house like, the way they want. That's their, they love their area, they love their houses, so they kept it so well. So that's something, the metrics that I look for to make sure um, what type of neighborhoods they're in. Manikishore, heard the news about heavy investments from Canadian government on electric battery plant. Does that add value to Windsor City, and any projections based on this impact of? So great point. Actually, that's my next point that I'm going to talk about. So there's a lot of developments happening. There was a recent article. If you search on, Windsor City News, there is like a two 64 640 units, 640 units apartment building, like a condo building, was approved. So big developments happening. That's one. Two, battery plant, which we talked to, which you are mentioning, they're already work under construction, so they will be up and running next year. So they're planning to up and run next year. And the bridge construction, probably you already know. The university and St. Clair College, you already know that, bringing a lot more people. So all this new job, all these employers coming in are creating more new jobs, which is obviously a solid impact on Windsor market. That's one of the reason I see Windsor, like, my personal opinion, again, this is just my opinion, you consult your experts, just my opinion, I see a bright future for Windsor, because a lot of small businesses are opening up, a lot of restaurants coming in, a lot of new immigrants moving in, a lot of new jobs coming in, and a lot of people still working from home, and a lot of people working in Detroit areas too, because a lot of IT jobs, electric jobs, mechanical jobs, because of the demand in the electric vehicles area. Because we are forced to use the electric vehicles soon. We're already, they're incentivizing a lot to slowly reduce the gas cars, go on to the electric cars. So every automotive industry is focusing on bringing their electric vehicles out. So I see Windsor has a bright future. And even while all these things happening, still Windsor prices are still affordable. Still, you have seen the average home price, right? It's still 576,000. You can still get a good, decent, detached home around 600, under 600,000, which is becoming harder and harder in the bigger cities. So that still, I feel, with the amount of jobs that is getting created and with the affordability, bigger town cities like Toronto, Vancouver, people like that, they're looking for options, who wants to have a little bit more peace of mind, who wants to live in a city where they can find everything, but still they can find an affordable home where they can enjoy the backyard, their kids can play in the backyard. Those are the people are, I see, moving more and more to cities like Windsor. So in my opinion, in next 5 years, Windsor is going to be one of the best cities. I feel, again, and I'm seeing that impact. That's my opinion on what's the projection of, again, there is a lot. Do your research, right? Like, just search Windsor, new jobs in Windsor, what's happening in Windsor, Ontario. You will see all those articles. Just go through them, dig more into it. You will get a more and more idea before you make any decisions. I think we just covered that gadget world. Um, Bro, what's the name? Gadget World is a very unique name. Probably, I'm assuming that's just your channel name. Yeah, so personally, I see there is a bright future for Windsor, and the mega hospital haven't even started. That is going to bring more people as well, and a lot of construction work happening. Um, Automotive industry, hospital, bridge, college, and construction. These are some things that I'm seeing are going big. Arun, realtor course versus first time home, which is the best option to proceed as per your experience if I want to follow your path? So, Arun, two different, completely different things. I would say first time home is not an option, in my opinion. Again, this is my opinion, right? I bought my house first. Especially if you're already working, get your house, get your, like, if you qualified, if you have decent savings where you can buy your first home, get it. Because with the amount of demand and supply, it's getting harder and harder. And don't take my words for granted. Just search the ratios between homeowners and the renters. The renters are growing, homeowners are reducing, which is one of the reason why the affordability of the houses are becoming tough and tough for our first time home buyers. So when there is opportunity, when this still you can afford, when you can still get something under your belt, do it. So if you want to follow my footprint, here is what I did. I got my first house hack, bought a duplex, lived in one unit, got another one, got another one, got another one. I got like 4 or 5 properties first. And when I was forced, when I needed active income, when I needed more active income, because I was not passionate enough about my IT job. And I was into a bad debt. Like I almost had a 140, 50, something like that, debts, like literally 150,000 debt. So I have to pay that off. And I was like, what the heck I can do, because I was kind of knocked out. I cannot invest anymore until I clear off that debt. So that's when I was looking for options, and I evaluated myself, what can I do, what skills I have. And the more and more I understood, I have a good people skills. I enjoy that, and I have built real estate investing experience for the last 2 3 years. And plus, I have this people skills, and I have passion for it. I might not have everything, I don't know everything about real estate. So that's when I jumped in, got my real estate license, became an agent, did that full time. So I I I would say, like, investing, like buying a home, that is passive. That is something you're building wealth for yourself. Real estate career is something active. If you have passion for it, if you have some love for the real estate and people, and then you can choose the real estate as a career. Definitely, real estate career is, like, I talked on this channel many times. It's something that everyone can do, but at the same time, not everyone will do. Like, if there are 1,000 agents in the market, only probably like under 100 agents make better living. Rest of them either part-timers, they don't make more than 10 sales a year. The reason is, maybe it's because it's too easy, that's why people don't do it. They don't focus, so they don't consider it as a full-time career. So if you're someone feel like you want to jump in as a full-time real estate agent, and you feel like you have that skills, or you want to build the skills, then yeah, do it. Because that has nothing to do with the buy house. How do you think the average sale price in Windsor will fall in the market crashes? So I don't know when the market is going to crash, or if you're considering that the market already crashed and recovered. I don't know those terms. In my opinion, we are coming from a correction, a small correction, that is like, um, we have correction over almost like around 30% correction in the real estate, like in Windsor market, from 2022 April to January 2023. So during this 8 9 months, the prices has almost gone up. Average home price till 720 and dropped to almost at the bottom was like 473. So more than 230,000, 30 or 40,000 drop, which is like more than 30% drop in the prices. Um, since I'm in real estate in Windsor, that's the highest drop I have seen. Um, is there any future market crashes that can happen? I don't know. Honestly, I call myself as a dummy investor. I don't know mm, too much details on the economies. What the heck is going to happen with the market? Is the recession going to come in or not? I don't know. That topic is something uh, 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 too much to analyze and too much to predict. So when I say I call myself as a dummy, because I'll focus on just very basic fundamentals. I look for a property if I'm investing, just the average home price where that I can at least pay all the expenses. If I'm renting, if I can get the rents that can pay my expenses, I'll buy a property, I'll sit on it for years to come. And when the market is good, I'll sell. When the market is not so good, I'll just sit on it. That's a dummy investing strategy I follow. So I know your question was straightforward, but my answer is not so because that market crashes is something no straight answer. But from history, in Canada, in Windsor, 2000, we had multiple what do you call corrections happen. One was last year, 30% correction, and there was another correction in 2009 when the US market collapsed and all those crazy things happened. But in Canada, probably we have seen like 10 to 15% correction for few months. I think 3 4 months. And also in 2017, no, sorry, no, 2020, when the pandemic, the first time they'll put the lockdown for 2 months, there was a dip in the prices. I think 5 to 8%, something like that. Again, on an average, every location is different percentage, but on an average, that's a percentage dropped. And 2001, there was another correction, and then like 10 years prior that. But in general, like comparative to states, we haven't seen like massive crash where like in 2008, 08, 09 in US, people were like, just take my house, leave me alone. That was the situation. Whereas in Canada, we haven't seen that kind of a crisis. I think one of the reason is like we have a pretty strong banking system where they adjust the things, where they create certain policies immediately when they sense something not so good happening. When they sense the people are losing jobs, they tend to adjust certain things. They're pretty smart in my opinion. But again, there might be many arguments the other way around. But so yeah, Manikishore, IKEA coming to Windsor. I d- as of now, I think we only have like some store pickup. I don't know. I haven't seen any news recently. If you have seen, put a link in the chat, please. If you know IKEA is coming, if someone knows IKEA is coming, let me know. We only have like a store, I think, in-house display store, but not like proper full IKEA store. Any particular website or any digital platform where we can see follow latest updates happening? Windsor Star is one of the one. Windsor Star, and there is another website, Windsorites. So let me put that in here. uh, Windsor Star, obviously, that's a very up to date one, and the other one is like Windsor Royce with WNROITS, I believe. Let me type in here. Okay, here you go. Okay, it's in the comments. So that's a website where you can get more latest, whatever happening in Windsor. They always, news, events, city guide, news tips, different things. That's the website that you can, stay up to date about Windsor market. And I love the question. Thank you for asking. Maybe I have to put one in my Instagram as well. So all those initial properties you bought are on 5% down payment? No, 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 no. I cannot buy all of them with 5% down. There are different creative strategies I used in different properties, but my first property was 5% down. And I think my second property was also 5% down. And the house that I'm living is also 5% down. So a couple of 5%, because the 5% down is the concept, like those who don't know, if you're a primary homeowner, like if you're looking to buy a house where your intentions to move in, then you can buy the house for 5% down. And the intentions, you should be able to justify with your reasons. So this, in that case, you will be qualified to get insurance on your mortgage. So that's the insurance for the bank, not for you. So the insurer will not approve you if you don't have a reasoning that makes sense. So for example, I got a first house. It was a duplex, and it was an old duplex. So when I got the second house, it was a little bigger duplex. It was a little nicer duplex. So I said, this one was too small for us to live here, because the unit we were living in was one bedroom apartment, one bedroom unit in that two bedrooms, in the two units. So now I told the CMHC, you know, we like to have a little bigger space because this became too small, this and that. And we waited for like 8 months or something after we bought the first one, and we qualified for that property as well. And insurers were convinced with my reasoning, they agreed. And then when I went for this house, the one I'm living in, this is a detached home and a better location. So I said, you know what, my wife is fed up with the tenants. We don't want to live with the tenants anymore. Of course, our tenants were great. We were doing house hacking. We actually became very good friends and all. But just for the reasoning for the CMFC, and genuinely, we were moving. Actually, we were moving from this house. We moved from this house to that house, and that house to this house. So we said, we want to upgrade our lifestyle. This is again 1 year after we bought the first house. We moved again, and they again agreed for 5% down. So when you have a reasoning like that, you will be able to buy 5% down multiple times. Rest of the houses are 20% down, and again, not every 20% came from my pocket. In the beginning, I even bought properties with the investor partners, where my partners bring in the money, I bring in the project, I take care of the project, we split the profits. I don't know how many minimum rooms house do we need to generate cash flow from the house based upon the rent in Windsor. So it depends on. So let's take an example. We just sold a property that was a duplex, which is two legal units, which is like literally 5 minutes from university. Two bedroom unit, and it was already rented for 1,600, 1,400. So $3,000 is the rent. So when that's the case, here's what I'll do. Let me share one screen that I use. Really helpful. So stick with me here. This is my favorite website. I shared here multiple times, and I'll do it again. So go on to this website, ratehub.ca, and they have a calculator, mortgage payment calculator, because this is something you need in order to calculate your cash flow, right? So first thing, you need to know how much is your mortgage. So this duplex was making $3,000, and we sold that property for 492,000. So I'm not going to say the address because I cannot. But here, if you're a first-time home buyer, you can see the differences here. You have to put 5% down, because you need 24,000 down payment, and of course this insurance will be added to your principal. If you put 20% down, you don't have insurance, and your principal is much lower, but your down payment went up from 24,000 to 98,000. And when you're putting 20% down, you can even go for 30 years mortgage. So you see this to 25. So you can change all those things, right, according to how you are going to do. So let's say you're just a first time home buyer, you're going through this process. The first option, 5% down. And this is the best rate, but let's go for the average rate. Average rate is like 4.5. Let's take that. And monthly payment is 2,700. So if you would have put 5% down on this property of this price, and you're making $3,000, so 3,000 minus 27, you only left with $300. And the property tax on that property was around 150, and insurance is another 150. So you're probably breaking even at $3,000. Whereas if you would have made 3,500, then you would have had like another $500 left, maybe another $200 for maintenance, grass cutting, this and that. You'll be left with $300 cash flow. So if you want to calculate exactly how much, go on to my website, adityasoma.com, and I have a cash flow calculator on my website. Go on to resources. You will find a cash flow calculator, a very basic, simple cash flow calculator that I use. Again, like I told you guys, I treat myself as like a dummy investor. I don't know too much. I'm not savvy, knowledgeable person. Like, I know basic stuff, I know just basic numbers. So I just use that basic Excel sheet and I run my numbers, and that's the Excel sheet. So I put that link in there. So just calculate your things this way. And even on this website, you will get even how much is your land transfer tax. If you're a first time home buyer, you get some rebate, so your land transfer tax down to 2,000. If you're not a first time home buyer, it's like 6,000. How much cash needed, what's your monthly payment needed. It even give more details, like how much is your property tax. Again, this is on the high side. For Windsor properties, there is also a website. You can check the property tax information. So I'll put that link as well in the chat. So if you go into the link here, so this is the public property inquiries. That's for Windsorites, for Windsor properties. So if you go in there, you can punch in the address. It will tell you how much property tax was for last year. So now you know exact numbers, put it in here. And this is the approximate utilities. Again, utilities can change based on who is paying for what. And home insurance, again, this is the website, but you can make some calls, get some numbers. And they even added phone bills, internet bills. Again, this is just to give you an example, right? If it's a condo, you even add those, right? Like, so you make those changes, that will give you the property tax is something high. This one for this property like was under probably 160 or 150, something like that. Maybe I would go for 180. So all of a sudden the expenses went down. So that's how you, this website gives you a good idea. So play with it, get an idea, and download my cash flow. Probably you will get more insights. Hope it makes sense. And if you guys still loving it, watching it, maybe give me a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe, share this, and go follow me on Instagram, because I'm more active on Instagram. Also, one thing, I see some people ask me in recent times on my DMs, bro, what happened? Why are you not posting that much on YouTube? uh, you know what, maybe my confession, maybe I got to a point where, like, what do I talk? I talked about everything. I'm in that limbo. So maybe I want to know from you guys, if you're watching this, make me some recommendations. What are the things that you want to know? What's the current topics that you're interested in learning? Let me know. I'll try my best to revamp again. And also, we are looking to hire a video guy, because that's another thing. Like, my time is becoming tough and tough with the team, and baby, the different things. um, uh, Now I'm looking to hire a videographer. If you're someone who has passion for content, passion for real estate and video skills, because I need someone full time, with Vincity with me. You will be, pretty much all day with me, shooting different content. So you will be doing some edits, uploading, and we have another person who is doing editing right now. and you'll be coordinating with that person. So that's a role open for. And pay scale depends on your experience levels, depends on where you are. Of course, it will be competitive based on the market, or more than that. But the key is you will be learning a lot more from me directly. So if you know any friends, please recommend us, send me a DM, their contact info. I'll put our email address here. If someone is looking for that role, who has passion for videos, email me your resume with your work samples and a 1 minute video clip about you, or share it with your friends whom you think qualified, so that I can make more content and give you more insights. uh, yep. So other one is Windsor. Yes, that's right, Manikishore. Another website is like where you can get a lot more info is from Windsor. Pradeep, what do you learn from Ramandua real estate journey? Great question. I love that question. So Ramandua, he's he's like a entrepreneur, like really good entrepreneur who built a business from ground up. Like I love his vision. Like he from his year one in his business, like he started as a salesperson, like us, like me. Uh, the first year, like I started building my team, but he was like he went with a bigger vision, started building his brokerage, and started to bring on more people, and he pretty much like um, built a massive army, especially like Desi army, a lot of the brown community, I would say, like the realtors community, where build up a massive army that helping like thousands, probably more than thousands of clients every month, crushing it. Like for me, when I looked at him, like when I spent some time with him, I think I'm like, I felt like a bigger brother, showing some pathway, getting a good knowledge, a good way of thinking is something that I learned from him. Think bigger, not just too small. Like, sometimes we get into this life craziness and we forget to think big and dream big and do things that, out of our comfort zone. And he was not like, he's fearless. Maybe he's fearful inside, but he acts out of his fear, and he takes big steps. Now they're expanding, like all over worldwide. So it's always inspiring. Is there any way to get enter into real estate business without peer? Yes, brother Pradeep. There's many ways. One of the ways, maybe work for someone in the real estate industry. I know a lot of young people. Actually, I just hired today a young guy. He's new to Canada. He's just like 2.5 months in Canada. I just hired him because initially, like he literally like showed up at one of my event. He was following me. He DM'd me multiple times on Instagram. I never responded because he was just asking, how can I connect with you? And he was in India. I just said, come to Canada, then we'll talk. But he is so after me to learn real estate. He said like, okay, he came to the event. He said, anyways, I can help you. Like, and I saw he's like this, and like, why don't you help me to build some body? Come train me. He's like, sure. Tell me what time, and he comes up every day. Like, shows he was just giving his time for free in order to learn about real estate. So now 2 months down the road, we started training like from last 1 month. um, and now it was a time where like I needed some more help, and I said, okay, let's do take you as a like salaried person with Vincity. Now he's gonna do leases. He's gonna be like some my personal assistant on different things. So that's an example like where how you can start it. You can get started by learning from someone, or maybe you can get started on like maybe do some leasings for other people. There's a lot of people need leasing agents, or you can do wholesaling. So learning, the biggest thing is like you might not be able to do the only sales, but you can learn a lot more things. Like before I became a real estate agent, I was learning, like I was reading books and networking like crazy. I was knowing people, I was learning from other investors locally. I spent like before got my license like 3 years. It's my biggest university degree. Like I was sincere student, like reading, networking, mm, helping other investors for free. I offered many times for investors local. Like I have a couple of mentors here. I offered them like, I'm gonna come work for you for free. Anything to pick up something or this and that. Like, I just need to hang around with you guys, so that I can learn a lot more. So there's a lot of ways you can get into real estate. Start learning. First 1 2 3 4 years, don't focus on money, just focus on learning about real estate. Wow, it's already 7:57. Damn, I don't realize the time when I talk to you guys. Always, it's just time just flies. So I'll try my best to answer a few more questions. If I missed anything, please don't curse me. DM me on Instagram. And like I said, if you guys need any help in Windsor, Ontario to get to more, just DM me. We just talk and see if we can help you in any way. How is the Windsor market from buyer's perspective? Is there bidding more like GTA? So, Burhan, I was touching on this point, like, maybe once I upload this video, go watch a little bit more in the beginning, because I talked to detailedly. But in short, there are some properties, yes, they are going through bidding war. There are some properties they don't have bidding war. So maybe get in touch with us, send us the DM. Maybe we can do an introduction call, one-on-one, get to know you, see, show you what you're looking for, or how we can navigate in this market scenario. But in general, even in the peak market, same thing. There was bidding wars, and also there were other properties that are no bidding wars. Even if there is bidding war, how can we, still beat the bidding war and not pay crazy price? So there are always different strategies. So current market, Windsor started to pick up. Windsor started to see bidding wars as well in general. I see online that if you rent your basement has an Airbnb, that you have to pay HST when you sell your property. Is that true? Do you have it on? How did you get around that? So yes, that's true. Especially any property you're living in it, and if you rent, and if you made some money off of it, obviously there is some taxes associated to it, because now it's not completely primary. So my personal advice is have a good accountant, because they have workarounds with you. And the workarounds are really depends on person to person. Sometimes some people, they don't disclose the rent. That's the bad way. And some people show the expenses that are, to offset the income. This is where area have a good accountant. If you're in Windsor, if you need some tax advices, just DM us. I'll hook you up with my accountant. I have a great one now. Finally, I found a good one, like who's like really good. So I can hook you up with that. Yeah. So with that, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this live. And just any help, reach out, DM me. Me and my team are more than happy to help you guys with your investment goals, or primary goal, homeowner goals, or selling properties or anything. We are here. With that, have a good evening. Take care. Bye bye. See you in the next live.